Hey, what's going on, guys? So I'm going to talk about something I never thought I'd be talking about. Occluding your red dot. Should you do it? Shouldn't you do it? Well, I've always told people that it's a good training tool to prove to yourself that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing when you're shooting a red dot. Now, to give you a little bit of a backstory, I am predominantly an iron sight shooter. So over the last couple of years, it's been quite a bit of a struggle for me to really acclimate to a red dot in a way that I feel like I'm doing it proficiently. And I've always been against occluding the red dot in matches. I have been a proponent to occluding the dot for training purposes. And that's where this talk comes in. So I just spent a big pile of brass and actually tested an occluded dot setup on one of my Canics. It was on my black steel frame with a Leupold 2.5 MOA red dot attached to it. And all I did was black out the front of the optic with some black tape. So, real cheap way to do it. And I was expecting, I really don't know what I was expecting, but I wanted to give it a fair shot. And 300 rounds later, I still think it's a great training tool and wouldn't necessarily run it in a match, at least not yet. And let me explain my thought process. First, the pros. The pros are, if you focus on the dot, it's painfully obvious and you'll break yourself of that habit really, really quick if you occlude the dot. I was also surprised at how easy it was to pick up the target through an occluded system. I didn't notice any noticeable point of impact shifts, and I was shooting at a zone steel plate at 43 yards. So now, is that bullseye level accuracy? No. Have I put it on paper at 50 yards? No. But that's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought there was going to be a notable shift because of the difference between your left eye and your right eye. Right eye seeing the red dot, left eye seeing the target. And I didn't see a notable difference in the point of impact. So, those are all good things. The cons that I saw, again, shooting 300 rounds, it's pretty obvious you get less visual information off of the target you're shooting at. So this manifests for me in kind of a dull target. So I'm not seeing a clearly defined outline. I'm not seeing a high definition target. I'm seeing what looks like not a shadow of the target, but like a grayed out, dull, less defined target. And I found myself initially really, really liking the occluded setup, just noticing all those positives. But once I switched back to a non-occluded red dot, gave myself the opportunity to retain that target focus like you're supposed to, and I found myself preferring the non-occluded system, if for no other reason than I get more visual information from the target I'm looking at. So obviously the con of that is if you are a big iron sight shooter, you may have that tendency to revert back to an iron sight focus, or try to have a red dot focus or iron sight focus with your red dot, which is obviously not ideal. But by using this as a training tool to prove to yourself that's what you're doing, and then allowing your brain to leave its focus on the target, I think that's, again, beneficial. So I end today's practice session with the same opinion I had before, but Now, I'm not going to make fun of people as much for occluding the red dots in big matches. I can see the merit, and it definitely eliminates that possibility of reverting back to a gun focus or a red dot focus. So that's my 2 cents. I don't know if anyone else struggles with iron sight focus, target focus, red dot focus like I do. But again, I've been shooting matches for 21 plus years. So iron sight's really ingrained in my shooting. And this red dot, even though I've done it for about 10 years now, I haven't really focused on it until the last couple. So I'm learning a lot more now than I had in the past. So in summary, I'm going to keep running a regular red dot, non-occluded, but I highly recommend at the very least testing the occluded dot, putting a little bit of tape on the front of your glass, and shooting a couple rounds downrange. So let me know if you guys occlude your dot. If you do, why? What's your thought process behind it? And if you don't, I also want to know what's your thought process behind that. Why don't you occlude your dot? So, all right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.